Well, good morning, folks. It's just a couple minutes before 6, April 7th. Um, I, as Julie and I live, which is, I call it farming light, light duty farming. We really only produce stuff for ourselves. In Maine, we had the opportunity to sell eggs, and we did. Um, but we haven't had that opportunity here, mostly because of where we're located, so far off the main road. And then our street only has a few houses on it. Um, so, with that in mind, I watch a lot of videos. Um, I like a lot of channels: Wrangler Star, Appalachia's Homestead with Patera, um, Outdoors with the Morgans. My dad got me watching that one. It took me a while to get into it, but I like the channel. There's others that are preppers, homesteaders, outdoors, survivalists, whatever. They all kind of meet at some point in the center, and so a lot of the channels do, and I don't want to knock. I'm not really trying to knock their contents per se or anything, but there's a lot of, in this day and age, there's a lot of doom and gloom, and there's a lot of people. Sorry. Sometimes if I pull my shoulders back far enough, I can make this joint in my neck pop, and it feels better. But yeah, I mean, it's easy to. You just look out the door and watch the news, read the newspaper, whatever the case may be, and you can find bad news all around. Um, with that being said, I think you also got to appreciate the fact that the average American has done a lot through the last 3 years. They've done a lot. They've been through a lot. Um, you know, I I imagine there's legitimate um, mental crisis for some folks. You could just imagine a situation where you lose your job through the pandemic, um, or maybe you're laid off during the pandemic, waiting to go back. Uh, maybe whatever the case may be, the pandemic took a toll, and the nation got a lot of new drug addicts and alcoholics, and a lot more domestic violence recipients. But we as a nation have continued to chug on. I mean, I don't really, I don't like to dive into politics too much, but I think if you listen to me talk enough, you probably know where I lean. But you know, we've been under leadership for the better part of 3 years that is, in my opinion, inadequate. I mean, in everything they do, the administration seems to fail, overspend, underaccomplish. I mean, it's just. I was watching a press conference with the. Uh, I can't remember the guy's name, but he basically usually speaks on the matters of defense and military issues and stuff. But he was up there speaking about the Afghan withdrawal as if it was a success. And he's labeling off this stuff. Why the hell? My beard, my mustache always hangs down in this one spot. Just this one spot. It drives me nuts. Must be longer right there or something. So, you know, and he bullet pointed a couple things. One of them I remembered was how he stated that they were proud of the fact that the U.S. military was able to recapture a airport and make it an accessible airport to launch the recovery mission, and he hailed the saving of all these Afghans, which is great. But they created that problem themselves by not securing an airport before they withdrew. Secure the airport and just start withdrawing. Don't tell anybody. Just do it. Get everybody there. Get everybody ready. Get a perimeter, a real strong perimeter set up. It was completely botched. I think the average infantry grunt could have done a better job organizing the withdrawal of every. You got to remember, it's not just American assets that were there. There was a lot of other assets that we were responsible for, including Afghanis. There was a lot of Europeans from different countries and stuff. So we put all them in a bind as well, as they scrambled to save their people. But they're just another example of absolute failure of this leadership, and then how they backpedal and try to claim like they did good there. They screwed it up wickedly, and they got out of there by the skin of their teeth, and they still lost all those Americans. Yeah, that's just not the America I know, and it's not how. I'm going off too far. So these channels that I watch collectively I think naturally have a little bit of doom and gloom in their mind. The average farmer and stuff, I think, wants control of their food. In Julie and I's case, we prefer to have food that is coming limited to no contact with pesticides or anything like that. So we grow our own food. We can't find that in the supermarket without paying an arm and a leg, and so we manage the excess land we have in hopes of growing more of that food. And same thing with the chickens laying the eggs. We've always enjoyed chickens just in general as an animal. They're awesome to just watch and have them around the farm busy doing what they do. But I recall years ago watching how chickens are commercially in captivity for laying eggs. And actually, it was the meat birds that really did it for me. There was this video of this huge machine, and it had this long arm, and it would just go like this, like say, and the hand would just scoop up the chickens, and they would get like sucked up this conveyor. It was wicked, and there was nothing real about that bird's existence. It lived in this big building with thousands of birds, and it was dusty, and it was low ceilings, no sky, really no artificial light except for around the edges and stuff where light creeped in. But seeing that machine come along and just basically scoop them up, because chickens are fat and slow, and and then they get sucked up into the conveyor belt and they're into the system. And next time you see them, it's a, you know, a two piece on the grill. So, so I didn't really like that. And even though we still buy commercial meat and stuff, we knew we could do at least the egg portion ourselves. And the eggs are absolutely delicious. A farm raised egg, meaning like a naturally raised egg, you know, versus a store bought one is it's night and day. Your store bought egg will have a yolk that's very pale yellow. Our yolks are so they're beyond the orange yellow of this toolbox behind me. Julia went to make something. I forgot what it was. It might have just been like angel cake or like a white cake or something. And because our eggs are so orange, they actually change the color of the batter a bit. But they're the best eggs you're going to eat. And I don't mean specifically ours, I mean farm eggs in general. I think ours are so good because they get the best of both worlds. They get a top notch grain, chick scratch type feed, and then they have the accessibility to anything on the farm. You know, they actually even go over to the neighbor's farm sometimes and hang out with their chickens. So those are some of the things that move us in the direction. It's not so much fear as it is just wanting control of a certain facet of our life. You know, we still eat all the regular junk food, which is counterintuitive, but we're human. We try, you know. Pound for pound, the amount of food that Julie and I have grown, whether it's animals or vegetables, is in the thousands of pounds. I mean, between the pig we had done, well, we did it. We just had it butchered for us. We raised it and everything. Went into that project with at the time it was my fire chief, and he got one as well. Or did we split? No. We got two and then we split them. That's what we did. So I had half of one pig, he had half, and you know, and then I had half of his pig, and he also had half. So we each had two halves of two different pigs. You know, and then I mean the stuff we get out of the garden. Once, like right now, I should have peas real soon. I mean the plants are pretty big. I should be putting out peas pretty soon, and that type of eating goes on all the way through September, October, with the fruits and berries and different things that come ripe, and nuts and stuff that come ripe at that time of year. You know, so we've made a difference in that sense in our lives. We've literally, like I said, we've grown thousands of pounds of food, hundreds of pounds of food, certainly in the range of 1,000, 2,000, you know, I would say certainly as well. So I see these channels, and some of them are so motivated. Every video is, I warned you about this, or, you know, do this now, this is coming, or, you know, when there was this chicken feed fiasco or nonsense that went on where everyone was saying, oh, my chickens aren't laying eggs, it must be the Tractor Supply chick feed, and this and that and this and that. And like there was a few of us, and I just mean on this particular thread, that we're commenting and you know, saying that it's winter, you know, birds just lay less in the winter. And and we were kind of shunned and you know, basically told to take our opinions elsewhere. But lo and behold, a couple months later, the days are longer. You're into spring. Nobody has egg problems, and nobody, most of these people didn't change their feed or anything. It's just that days got longer. We know as humans, we benefit from vitamin D. Well, chickens, chickens are no different. They need a certain amount of vitamin D and calcium in their body to produce the shell. Chickens can produce eggs without shells. It's a very, very, very thin see-through membrane, and you can pick it up, and it's like a water balloon almost. And that's a deficiency. So I really enjoy some of these channels, and I guess it was this morning I was watching a video, and it was right on to the next doom and gloom situation, and we've never addressed any of the other previous allegations about things that are happening in the economy and whatnot, that, or even that example I gave you with the eggs. Where's the follow-up video saying that we may have been wrong, or this is what we did and this is why I believe our egg production went up? I mean, there was nothing. It was just a couple videos about the problem, and I don't know. I'm just it kind of takes a toll on you. Nobody wants to constantly be berated with negative news. I mean, I certainly don't need creators on YouTube to tell me the news. I get my news off of various sources, including YouTube. But if people are relying on content creators for their news, well, I can understand why people are confused and misinformed and stuff a little bit. But in this, somebody will take this the wrong way, and I guess so be it. It is what it is. I certainly not trying to make a point against any one particular creator or group of creators or anything like that. But I just was watching it this morning, and I was like, yeah, it's bad. Our economy is bad. Yeah. Security threat is bad. I'm let's go Brandon. I'm 100% in that regard. Um, you know, I'm ready for change. I think we all are at this point. But it is raining today, so I may get a good opportunity to see how those three swales work. And I'll scoop around. The camera's actually over right there, but I always look at the center. Anywho, so I might get a chance to see the swale system fill up and work a little bit today. And Nutmeg, the goat that is the furthest along pregnant, she was showing some pretty good signs that she's trying to labor. Um, they get to a point where they're just so uncomfortable that I think they have minor contractions and they really try to push on them and stuff. That's my opinion of what's happening. Because she had a couple yesterday. I swear she was trying to push those babies out. And then last night, the kids and I were up there, and she was yawning repeatedly over and over, which is an indication that she's stressing and that she may be laboring. And she also does this thing where she leans her head as far back and to one side as she can, almost like she's trying to talk to her rear end. And she has it all the way back, and she's just going like making a noise. And I got to listen because I was told, or I read rather, that if you listen closely, it sounds like a cat meowing when they do that. I thought there was no sound at all, but that just could be the ruckus of the barn and how it is sometimes. But I'll try to pay attention today and see if she does it, if I can hear that sound, because people have suggested that it sounds like a cat meowing. So the wood for the barn has been ordered, and it may be delivered. Or no, excuse me. They're saying it's going to be delivered Saturday. So no big deal. It's going to rain all weekend. I'll have it squared away. Actually, no, that's not. It's right. I'm going to be working under the roof I built. I forgot. So I'll be dry. I'll build those walls for the nursery pen, and then it'll take me a little bit. I got to build a gate, and with that, I got to set 3 posts, at least 2, maybe 3. So yeah, there's that. But things are moving along. I mean, I was terribly set back with that head thing, that injury, and even to this day, I'm being treated, but I'm not relieved. I have had basically a headache since the beginning of February, and it's varied in severity. But even, now I woke up and I got this dull headache, and if I just work too hard, it just starts to thump, thump, thump. Like I can feel my head. We've all had those where your heart's beating and you're feeling it up in your head, And that's kind of what it is sometimes. Hi, puppy pups. I got a little puppy right here. They ate a turtle the other day. They found in the field. It was a big turtle too, and something caught it and started to eat it, and these dogs finished it. Well, folks, I hope you have a good day. Stay out of trouble. It's the weekend. And, just thank you for joining me, and thank you for being a subscriber in general. I do this simply for my enjoyment. Um, you know, and for the folks that watch the videos and comment and stuff, it definitely, definitely means a lot. So, as somebody who's created stuff for a couple years now, I've created stuff my whole life, but nothing significant of any sort. But over the last few years, I've really got into like different things, creating things, and for whatever it's worth, when you're done with something, it feels good to get compliments and appreciation. It just does. I mean, when you struggle sanding a piece of wood for 4 hours just to slightly change the shape, and nobody knows that but you, or this is the truth about woodworking with me. I'll set out to make something, and I'll go out to cut some wood to get a piece out of a log or something. And the first cut will fail or it's not right, so I'll cut a second one. And that's good. Now, I'll bring them into the house or into the shop or whatever, and I'll work on it for like 3 hours, shaping and sanding and sculpting it. And this was just a bowl, but it had some awesome spalting through it, and I've got other pieces. But you do that for like 3-4 hours, then you bring it inside and you start working on doing some intricate cuts, and the friggin' thing drops, breaks the side of the bowl out. It is absolutely, it's salvageable, but it just, at that point, it's done. You know, you could glue it back together and have a seam that shows probably. I'm not a wood crafter that can handle that type of situation and have the product still look okay in the end. I've done minor repairs to stuff, but this was the whole side of the bowl breaking out into two, three pieces. Two pieces broke off, and so three pieces altogether. So then you give up on it, and you go back and you do the whole piece over again, and something similar may happen, or it may fail. Maybe you get in there and start cutting away and making relief, and you find that it's infested with bugs, or it's got a piece of rot that you couldn't see. I mean, there's a million. I got to this one. The Last Supper that I did, it took me almost a year to get that project right. I made, it took me a while to make the first one, and I wasn't satisfied, so I was frustrated, and I just put everything aside with that project. And when I revisited it, it took me four different cuts, four different boards to finally get it right. It's just that I would try and I'd do something and I'd screw it up, or something would, I put the wrong instruction in, whatever the case may be. But it was usually, it led to failures in three of the pieces. So, just countless hours into things that you folks don't even get to see. I never get to put on my website or anything. It's just they go in the burn pile. There's days when I have burns that are just all my failures, and it's kind of fun to do. You get to. I got a puppy here who wants to do something. You want to go out? You gotta go out. Let me show you to the people. Can I show you to the people? Come here. Nah, she don't want to go. She's really got to go. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and or comment. And have a great day. Bye.